Thank you for tuning into the second chapter of my video series, How to Be a Successful Online Poker Player. In this chapter, we're going to be focusing on positional play and the importance of playing in position, and as well taking a look at the starting hand requirements by each position. One of the first things that any beginning poker player should learn is positional play. By playing the right hand range, especially in position, you're going to be putting all of the pressure on the other players at the table, and it's going to afford you a very significant advantage. One of the first mistakes a beginner will make is playing far too many trash hands, especially out of position, and that just puts them in a spot where they're going to lose money. Playing proper position, every time you are in a hand with a player, you're going to get the most information, as they will be acting first in any hand that you play against them. This is an example of what a poker table is going to look like here. This is a 9 max cash game table. In the first spot here we have the small blind, then we have the big blind, and we have under the gun here. These three spots are what is considered to be early position. This is the worst spot that you can have at the table, as it's going to put you in a spot where you're going to be first to act on all streets. In particular, the blinds are the worst spot to be, as you've already invested a small amount of money into the pot, and if someone raises, you're going to be put into a spot where you have to fold or play out of position. It's due to these factors that you're going to want to be playing in this position with a very tight range of hands. So the next three spots we look at here are middle position, under the gun +1, under the gun +2, and then the last spot here. In this position, especially the closer to this spot you get, the more you can start widening the range of hands that you open up with. The closer you get here, the more you can open raise, as the chances that one of the remaining players behind you is going to wake up with a hand is going to get smaller, so you can often fold them out of the hand and steal position for the rest of the hand here. So in the last spot here we have late position here. We've got the button and then the cutoff here. It's in these three spots here that you can really start to widen the range of hands that you're going to open up with, as your positional advantage on the rest of the table is going to increase significantly. These two spots here, especially the cutoff and the button, if it has been folded around to you, you can open a lot more liberally, as you're going to be able to steal the blinds quite frequently. If the blinds do attempt to defend, you're going to have position on them, and you're going to be at a significant advantage over them for the rest of the hand. So here we're looking at a starting hand requirement chart for early position. As you can see, it is a very tight range of hands. We're looking at the hands in blue here. Like I said, due to your positional disadvantage, you don't want to be playing a lot of hands. If the table is really tight, and if you have a lot of confidence in your ability, you can start to open up the range a little, play like ace-9 suited, king-10 suited, but due to the positional disadvantage you're going to have, you want to play pretty tight, so you don't want to go overboard and start really getting wide here. This is the chart for middle position, and you can see here that it does start to widen a little bit. Again, with early position, you can widen the range a little, especially if the table is tighter or if you have a significant advantage over the other players. But again, don't go overboard here. As we move into later position, you will see the range widen quite significantly here, and a lot more of these hands become profitable to play, as you'll be able to not only steal the blinds quite frequently with these kind of hands, but you'll be playing at a significant advantage for the rest of the hand. This is the chart for the button range here. Since you're the last to act, you can play quite a few hands, as you're going to be able to steal the blinds quite a bit, and even if you do go post flop, you're going to be in the best possible position for the rest of the hand. Now the last chart we're looking at here is the chart for the small blinds. If it's been folded around to you, you can actually raise quite liberally against the big blind, as it's going to put all of the pressure on them on whether they want to continue in the hand or not. So again, you can open up very, very widely here. So here we take another look at the table here with the hand charts and the position here. Now do keep in mind that these charts are suggested. You may want to adjust the ranges depending on whether the table is loose or tight and how many bad players are at the table. And another reason to deviate from the charts here, as the wider the range that you're playing, the harder it's going to be for other players to put you on a accurate hand range when they're in a hand with you. So you are going to want to mix it up a little and deviate from these charts. But again, don't go crazy and start playing a lot of hands that you really shouldn't be playing, especially out of position. So playing out of hand here, I want to use this to show an example of what playing in position means. I've got ace-6 suited, so I go ahead and open raise here. Now this is the position where you should be playing a little bit tighter, but I go ahead and open raise here as the table is pretty tight and I know I'm going to get a lot of folds here. So then we get some folds here, and the small blind limps in. And this is a perfect example of what being in position means. He's now going to be first to act on all betting streets here, so I can play according to how he bets, or in this case here, checks. So then he does check in this spot, and I lead out, and I get a fold. Had I played the hand out of position, I would have been in a spot where I would have been first to act, and I may have either had to check or lead out, hoping that he's not going to raise me and put me in a spot where I have to decide if I want to continue in the hand or not. By playing the right hand range in the proper position, you're going to put yourself in an advantage over every other player at the table. And that's really what poker is all about, capitalizing on the mistakes of everyone else. I thank you very much for watching the video. I will be putting out more shortly, so keep tuned. Make sure to subscribe to my channel so that you get updates. And check out my website, www.legdonkey.com. Just put it up. We'll be updating that quite frequently as well. And thank you very much for watching.